Cheerio. Kyungye. Hi everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Taekwondo Thursday. So this week we're going to look at what's called ring craft. That is learning how to use the area when you're sparring in a fixed area like a sparring ring basically. When we're moving around in a sparring match, it's important that we're not too predictable. You don't want to be only moving forwards and back in a straight line. It's very important that you learn how to move to the left and to the right, pivoting around your opponent and also being able to sidestep any sudden attacks from them. So let's look first of all at how we can generally move. So I'm going to use a kick shield here as my opponent. I'll just put that here. This is something that you can practice at home fairly easily. I'll just keep this a little further back from the camera. So from here, on the toes, the big mistake people make when they're moving around an opponent is they can often end up full facing like this. So as they're circling around, they lose their body position from being half or side facing and they end up full facing. And that's just done through bad movement. So first of all, you have to be aware of it. And as you move around, work on keeping the body half or side facing. That's really, really important that you don't make yourself more vulnerable by ending up full facing the opponent. Let's take that away for now. So how can we move? There's a couple of different ways. The easiest way for a beginner to learn this is when you're moving left, move the left foot out first, followed by the right. Left out and then the right. When you're moving to the right, move the right foot out first, then the left. So in general terms, when you're moving right, start with the right foot. When you're moving left, start with the left foot. Which leg is in front doesn't really matter. So on the toes, if I move to the right, I'll go right, left. Right, left. When I go to the left, left, right. These are small movements done a bit at a time, and it can be done at an angle. You can, of course, just on the toes, not going too high, just hop like that. And there's a very, very slight movement. You have to do what feels right at the time, but be able to do each type of maneuver. Now let's look at how we can sidestep an opponent. So if I imagine that the opponent is where my camera is, and they're doing maybe a multiple side kicks or a blitz towards me, and maybe I don't want to go backwards. I could have an obstacle behind me. I could already be at the edge of my area. So I want to sidestep very quickly. When I sidestep, I can pivot on my front foot. So let's look at the mat here. If I put my left foot on that line, I'm going to move off that line because that's the line of attack from my opponent. I want to pivot my back foot and slide away. Let's look at that again. I'm swinging my back foot across, pivoting on my front foot and sliding away and letting the opponent go by me. That of course puts me in a good position to counter attack. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is instead of pivoting off the front foot, you can also pivot off the back foot. It does have other challenges involved, but it's still a valid maneuver. So from here, instead of my front foot being the pivoting point, I'm going to use my front foot and sidestep out, pushing from my back foot. Of course, this has allowed me to change legs, which is maybe something you want to do, and it could be the reason for choosing that. So moving to the left, my left foot's in front, and I push out, and now my right foot's in front. So there's options for moving off the line and letting your opponent pass by you so that you can counter attack. You're basically to the side of them, maybe even slightly behind them, depending on how quickly they react to your sidestep. So hopefully that helps you look at different options for moving around from the opponent and not just getting in the habit of going forward and back predictably. Cheerio. Kyungye.